So when I originally sat down to make this video, man, I was going to dive into the WWE Elite From the Vault set. Yes, the From the Vault set, the ringside exclusive set where we take old school, really sought after action figures from Mattel, the Elites, and break it down, break down the whole series, because I felt like the From the Vault series kind of took a dip. And when I went into investigating that video, and I went into the weeds of it, and not that I don't know a lot of the stuff off the top of the dome, but I really wanted to make sure I knew what I was saying in that video, I dove into it, and then I came out thinking, you know what, man, I guess it really isn't that far off. I think it's just a stinker set here or there that I didn't personally agree with, but I could see where people would understand it. Now, I do not like the new set of From the Vault, which we talked about yesterday. If you guys missed our Ringside Fest coverage from last night, it was posted very late. Please go check that video out. I greatly appreciate it. Took a very long time. Those long news videos like that take hours to make. It's ridiculous. So if you'll go leave a like over there and check that video out, I greatly appreciate it. But today, I want to dive into the greatest hits, because I started off with the From the Vault, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'm missing the mark here. And I have a few opinions about it, but I felt like the greatest hits set is kind of where I wanted to take my focus. And we're going to get into it here, man, starting out with series number 1. We're going to dive into this. There's 10 series. I want to go through the series, and I want to showcase these things and kind of give you my thoughts and opinions on everything. And I don't know, did the greatest hits series fall off, or what has happened to the greatest hits? We're going to dive into it, we're going to look at it, and just kind of hear what your opinions are, and we're going to get into it, man. Starting out first, this set was incredible. The first set of greatest hits, even the first set of the From the Vault, was very, very strong. They came out swinging. I mean, just haymakers, man. This first set did feature the Rikishi figure, which we had seen multiple times over, but you're upgrading all of these figures with double joints. You're upgrading all of them with the DIJ tech, or the printing technology on the head sculpt, the True Effects. But came out with the Rikishi. We also had Bam Bam from the old Legends wave. They also featured the Elite 8 Undertaker, Elite 24 Rey Mysterio. We had the Attitude Era Rock Elite. And then we wrapped this thing up with the flashback Walmart exclusive Jake the Snake Roberts. This is an excellent Series 1 for greatest hits. All of these figures came out years and years ago. All of them were sought after, and all of them are now updated. And it's a genius idea for a wave. I think the greatest hits is just genius, but this is a great start. You come off the truck hot. I thought this was an excellent start to the Series 1 of the greatest hits. Let's move on to the Series 2. Now, I just want you to follow this pattern, and we'll kind of discuss it as we go. But Series 2, another really good set here. They came at you with cash-in Toys R Us exclusive Seth Rollins. Now, they could have adjusted the formula, but you know what? I still think this is a great addition into this set. The Flashback Elite Harley Race Elite pick here, because that figure was not found a lot of places. Any figure in the flashback sets they were putting in these greatest hits was a layup and a great slam dunk. I say layup and slam dunk. A layup in it because it's an easy choice. A slam dunk because it's a perfect choice or a great choice. You know what I mean? So Harley Race, excellent choice right there. Nobody was finding that damn figure, so putting that there was great. You eliminated that $300 aftermarket. You had Blue Tista in there, which kind of a random choice, but that figure was not available at regular retail anymore, and it was a throwback. People love Batista. I could see where that would fit. You had the Mania Shawn Michaels, the WrestleMania 30 Shawn Michaels Elite right there. Fantastic pick again, updating that figure. One of the best Shawn Michaels Elites ever created, actually. You also had Legends DDP. I was actually glad they put this in here, because that was a Legends set that I could never really find. I could never find that DDP, so throwing that in there was fine with me. And then you had the Hall of Champions Undertaker, which is another really sought-after figure. You include the championship. You upgrade the head sculpt phenomenally. A great sought-after attire for Undertaker. Just another really good set. You're looking at 2 sets back-to-back. You're like, damn, man, I look forward to greatest hits, because these figures are sought after. I can't get my hands on them anymore. They're going for really astronomical prices on the aftermarket. It's good business. It makes the most sense here. I know a lot of people are annoyed with the greatest hits, with the From the Vault, for a profit standpoint or a making your collection worth more standpoint, but I always tell you not to collect for financial reasons, man. It's just a losing game unless you're legitimately flipping figures all the time. But sitting on figures for years and all that different stuff is just not the way to go about it. You need to collect for the love of the game. Let's dive into Series 3. Another really strong set, probably the weakest of the 3, but I still like this set. You're looking at Then Now Forever, Earthquake, and Typhoon. 2 great figures right there, ones that we have not seen in a very long time that upgraded them in different ways. That I really like those picks. Elite 10 R-Truth. We hadn't seen that R-Truth in so many years, man. You're talking about a super throwback R-Truth at this point. Elite 10 R-Truth was a great pick with the cloth goods, so they upgraded the figure in a lot of ways. Upgraded shirt in terms of that old cloth versus the new cloth. Elite 33 Rollins. Never liked this figure originally, didn't like it here, but, you know, they did upgrade it. Shield figures for whatever reason, man. People love the Shield figures. Get the penny belt in there. People missing out on that penny belt. One of my least favorite tag titles of all time, by the way. But you get that Rollins in there. Legends 10 Elite Brutus, another solid one right here. Not one that I personally wanted, but it's from that same Legends DDP wave, I think. I think that was from the same wave, I think, off the top of the day. It may not have been, but I don't know. I feel like I never saw this Brutus figure. So, and then we wrap up Series 3 with Hollywood Roddy Piper, John Nada, and Hollywood Elite Rock from the Scorpion King. Two figures that I never saw. I never saw those figures until they put them in the greatest hits. Actually, I think I did see John Nada. I had the John Nada. I could not find that Scorpion King. You know what? A figure. I know this is kind of a tangent, but you know how my brain works. It's kind of all over the place. They need to redo that damn Hollywood Elite Roman Reigns, man. But now the way that the greatest hits is going, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I've never seen that Roman Reigns. You can't even find that on the aftermarket. Same thing goes for the Andre the Giant as the Bigfoot or the giant monster there. Both of those figures, can't find them anywhere. I had an opportunity to buy them at a con a couple years ago. I should have purchased it. What a moron. Next up, we're going to Series 4, and this is where they dropped the number of figures in the set, so they cut the number of figures. It was like 7 or 8. Now it's cutting down to 4, but it was still pretty decent selections. Let's get into it. Elite 74 AJ Styles, and they gave him the Elite 104 formula, which is just genius. That's a great way to do so. Take a previously done AJ Styles and redo it. Not only redo it with double jointed arms and a better head and everything like that, but give him an upgraded skin tone and an upgraded formula. That's beautiful, man. What a great job right there. That's what the greatest hit should be right there, man. Then you have the Survivor Series Hulk Hogan. Pretty much that's what this figure is. It's going to have the double jointed arms and stuff. It's got the wacky head sculpt. I can understand it. You get Hulk Hogan in there. It's going to sell well. It doesn't matter what figure you choose, things like that. I'm also shocked they haven't done the American-made Hulk Hogan in one of these greatest hits or something. I'm also shocked they haven't done Mr. America. For some reason, they still haven't done that either. Maybe that's coming down the line. But we also had a repaint of Randy Orton. Take your pick of the last few Randy Ortons. This is pretty much the Elite 90 or the white gear Randy Orton repainted. I like this. Again, you know, it's a good figure redone. Not necessarily sought after, but I can understand it, I guess. It kind of fits in differently in this wave specifically because it hadn't been that long since we had seen that figure. But at least it's a good figure, and they repainted it so it's not the exact same figure, which I can appreciate. Which I think is what kind of annoys me about this line later. But the last figure in this Series 4 is the Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, from the WrestleMania 35 Elite 2-pack with Samoa Joe, which I don't know if anyone found that at retail. I can't tell you. Like, some people may comment on this video and say, yeah, I remember finding that at retail. I never even looked at that pack. I had to get it from ringside. There was no way I was finding that set, man. Never saw that set at retail, and that is a highly sought, at the time, that was a highly sought after Rey Mysterio. Picking that Mysterio gear, even though that matchup was terrible, what a random pack. I think that match was like 30 seconds or something, man. It's such a bad match, but it makes for a great action figure. So we get Mysterio, Rey Mysterio. It makes a lot of sense, right? So let's move on to Series 5. Now, this is where the set changed, and it's where we kind of get into this top pick scenario. So we look at this, and the wave is Roman Reigns, LA Knight, Seth Rollins, and Dominic Mysterio, all figures of which had just came out not too long ago. I mean, these figures were either very available, they were out there, and they were a popular superstar. So it almost looked like the top picks wave that we've come to know for years and years. You know, the top picks started way back when, and it's supposed to be of top superstars, which this is, of previously done elites, or they're trying to get more of those guys. You know, we've seen this with Roman Reigns over the years. They'll redo the same Roman, or they'll redo the same exact figure and put it out in top picks so that, you know, kids going down the aisle or people that want these superstars don't have to wait on specific sets because these top picks fill the aisles. They're very plentiful. They have a high quantity. You can grab them right there. And it's a great business model. I love that. But it kind of came to this point where the top picks has merged into the greatest hits. And if you go over to the top picks waves are now making these crazy changes. Now, don't get me wrong, the personnel's still there. They're still plugging in the Roman Reigns and the Cody Rhodes and things like that. But they're making changes over there. But with the greatest hits, they're just redoing the same figures, which they've also done that in the past. But I don't know. It's just random that they waited till Series 5 to start this. They cut the figures down, but what makes it even weirder is from Series 5, then when they go to Series 6, they went back to the old way of doing greatest hits. So they come back and they add 6 more figures, and they're all throwbacks. None of them are current day talent, or I mean, you may have some superstars that are current day talent, but it's all throwback figures. We have Natalya which is a great pick again because it's an Elite Natalia that was going to be a Walgreens exclusive. It got canceled, so they bring that figure back. They give her a chase here, which is pretty cool. I'm good with that, even though it had single jointed knees and they didn't really update it whatsoever. They had the Elite 74 Natalia sitting there. Could have repainted that. Didn't do that. That's okay. You know what? We're not, whatever. Maybe it didn't work. I don't know. But you have Natalia. So technically you had 7 figures in the set if you include the chase. But then we had Elite 13 Sheamus. Great pick right there. Very throwback. I mean, dude, you're talking about so many sets ago at this point. We have Elite 13 Cody Rhodes, updated jacket, fantastic pick for the greatest hits again, a version of Cody Rhodes. Like, this figure right here went triple platinum at the WrestleMania Superstore last year, man. This figure sold crazy for Cody Rhodes, so that was a great pick. Mania 27 Toys R Us exclusive Miz, which is another great pick. Haven't had a Miz in a while. This era of Miz, right? You have the black and gold. It's got the jacket. This is a great pick for the Miz in the greatest hits line. Another solid pick right there. I'm not a big Miz fan, but that figure has been long gone, man. Toys R Us exclusive, former Toys R Us exclusive Miz Elite. Then you have the Elite 33 Roman Reigns, another Shield figure. You know they're going to do it. If Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley was in WWE, his figures would be done over and over. They'd be doing Shield 3-packs and Shield Ultimate sets. That it would absolutely happen, man. So if he ever comes back, prepare to learn Shield, buddy, because we're going to get a shish ton of Shield stuff. But this Elite 33 Roman Reigns was solid. They changed the head sculpt, gave him the penny belt again. You could match that with your Rollins. And then the last figure was Elite 23 John Cena. One of the best John Cena Elites they've ever done, give or take, from the base is that Elite 23. So you get the navy shirt, you get all the accessories. They upgraded the head sculpt. It's got the double jointed arms. Really good pick right there for the greatest hits. Then we go into Series 7, and again, they're still continuing on this deal. They're still throwing back. So we get away from the top pick style. We're not doing 4 figures. And we go to Elite 2 Batista. That is a Hall of Fame Elite right there. Hall of Fame Elite right there. Fantastic referee shirt. Redoing that figure. That figure used to be, I mean, dude, if you go back 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, that figure was so sought after for years and years, and they finally redid it. That was such a great pick. You have the Hall of Champions Ron Simmons, another figure, but they repainted it. So they did it in purple, changed it up a little bit, which I think is great. You know, virtually the same figure. It's a little different. You got a different formula and stuff, but changing the gear is great. If you missed out on that Hall of Champions Ron, then you get this one. Then you have the Elite 31 Usos. So you get a pair of Usos here. And what's weird about this set is they put like 8 figures in there. So you get the Usos redone. Another genius one. Never seen these redone before. So they redo those, get the updated tech, and the Usos are already popping off. You know, Jay and Jimmy are on the rise. This is at their peak. Just about at their peak, maybe shortly after, but the Usos are making a lot of splash now, and you get those throwback Usos in there. Great pick for them. Elite 27 Undertaker, this is where he comes with the brick jacket. It's so you could legitimately shatter a window with the jacket that comes with this Undertaker, but that's a long throwback Undertaker right there. Elite Series 70 Rollins, another Shield Rollins, and this one fit in nice because it went kind of hand in hand with the WrestleMania ending with Cody Rhodes, and so you kind of get that look of Seth Rollins feeding in right there. It's not necessarily the Elite 70 Rollins. They redid it a little bit to kind of fit the modern times, but I thought that was pretty genius. You also have the 3-pack Hogan repainted, so it's taking the fruit roll-up headband head sculpt and just repainting it in full white, so it keeps that 3-pack special. Another really good pick here. And then we do have Elite 21 Rey Mysterio. Now, not my favorite Rey Mysterio, actually one of my least favorite Rey Mysterios possibly, but another throwback, super throwback Rey Mysterio Elite that just fits right in right there. You could redo any old Rey Mysterio and throw him in there, and it works. You upgrade the double jointed arms, and people are going to buy Rey Mysterio, right? So right there, there's Series 7, and another, they went back to the well, man. They picked a lot of figures, and it worked. But now, you go into Series 8, and now they flip back again to that top pick style. They went back, and now we're getting a Gunther repaint, which is a solid addition. It's in black gear, and that figure is really good, so that's fine, I guess. It's just, why is it in the greatest hits necessarily when it's not necessarily a greatest hit? It's not a throwback figure for real. Then you get a Royal Rumble Stone Cold Elite, which is fine, I guess, but you're just getting double jointed arms. It's the same figure essentially. This one is on borderline, I feel like. I feel like this could give or take, but again, you're kind of getting a top pick Stone Cold. They've kind of merged into a top pick Stone Cold look now because they know Stone Cold's going to sell well, so they put him in the top picks over the years. You get the chilling out the lake Stone Cold. You know, they've done this before, and I think that's kind of how they're treating it here. And then you also have a Royal Rumble Cody Rhodes, which is the Royal Rumble Elite. That figure had just come out, kind of similar to Gunther. Not the same as the Royal Rumble Stone Cold, but again, kind of treating it as a top top picks. You know, it's the same figure, essentially just released in different packaging. And then you get Roman Reigns, which absolutely is a top picks. That's a top picks figure. It's basically the same run-of-the-mill Roman Reigns we've seen over and over, especially in that particular year. We had seen it multiple times here and there. If you go to Wrestling Figure Database and type in Roman Reigns Elite, you will find 17 of the same Roman Reigns just in different packaging, and that's what they do. It's just that's the reality of the situation. But then you go to Series 9, so you only got 4 figures in Series 8. They dropped off and they made it a top picks wave essentially. And then you go to Series 9 and you get the same kind of deal here, right? Top picks Logan Paul redone for Series 9 of the Greatest Hits. So you're top picksing a top picks, which is just crazy. You also have Elite 118 Jacob Fatu. That figure just came out. You know, you're redoing it. That you can't tell me that's not a top picks. We're picking top picks here for the Greatest Hits. Then you go Elite 111 Cody Rhodes. Again, same exact deal. That is a top pick. And then you go into the last figure in this Series 9 Greatest Hits, which is going to be Mania 38 Stone Cold, which is a great figure. Now, I wouldn't have a problem, and this is kind of derailing a little, but if they would have done the Royal Rumble Stone Cold and the WrestleMania 38 Stone Cold Elites and upgraded the shoulders and arms, I would have that would have been fine with me. I probably wouldn't have even batted an eye, but it still would have been a top picks wave. You're still essentially saying these figures or these waves are top picks waves. So Series 8 and Series 9 follow the same formula. So then, just the other day, we go to Series 10 of the Greatest Hits, and now again, Elite 119 Dominic Mysterio, that figure just hit. Elite 119 John Cena Collector's Edition just hit. Same exact thing. It literally is a part of the same series, and it just hit in full cases at Walmart. Elite 115 Rock figure was plentiful, had its own shipment to the stores, and then the last figure is Elite 104 Braun Breaker, which is a little bit throwback, but it's still the exact same thing. So the last 3 sets of Greatest Hits have been top picks waves essentially. You're getting 4 figures, and top picks nowadays are pretty much just 2 figures per set, and they're kind of changing the way they do them. But if you go back and look at top picks elites, it's very similar to these kind of waves. So my question and the information that I've delved into here is what happened to, and I guess like it's one of these things where it's like, yeah, we're going to go back into the well, we're going to pick some old figures, and then randomly in different sets, we're going to go and we're going to just put the same guys out on the waves. And I guess maybe it's because the top picks elites are selling so well at these retail stores, they want more of those same characters. And I don't know if the retail stores are having a say in it, but I've seen a lot of the Greatest Hits. I don't know if there's a single Greatest Hits set that I haven't seen on store shelves. I'm trying to think here. I want to say of all of these, I have at least seen the set of all of these at Target or Walmart or somewhere. I found Series 3, most of Series 3, at my Best Buy of all places, so that was crazy. But these series have been hitting at these stores, so maybe it's a case where they want more of these current superstars. Maybe that's the play. So instead of getting 2, so let's just take the most recent set, right? We have the Randy Orton and the Cody Rhodes, and then the Roman Reigns and the CM Punk. That's 2 figures of a top pick set. Okay, let's say they go to Walmart. Well, maybe they make the Greatest Hits similar to those sets, so that when Cody and Randy Orton hit, the Dom and the Rock and the Cena and the Braun also hit, so they're selling more of the same. So if those were throwback figures, maybe they wouldn't sell as well as the current day figures. Does that make sense? I don't know, but I would really like to see them get back to, 6, at least 4, but 4 to 6 throwback figures from back in the day. I'm talking, from the first 30 Elite sets or the first 40 Elite sets. There is a cheat code to this thing where you could Greatest Hits a John Cena from any of those first 40 sets, 50 sets. You could Greatest Hits them with double jointed arms, removable armbands, a shirt, and a hat, and update the tech, whatever. The old John Cena shoe mold, don't do that. But just give him the ultimate lower with newer John Cena shoes and give him a new shirt, double jointed arm. You could print money, I feel like, if you were to do that. So, I don't know. I think there's money to be had in those throwback sets. Or maybe it's a case where they felt like they were putting way too many out at the same time. They were putting way too many throwback figures out. Maybe that's more of the case. I'm not entirely sure. But I wanted to get on here, talk about this a little bit, see where your heads are at. I just felt like there's some sort of shift. Like we had that Series 5 with Roman Reigns, LA Knight, Seth Rollins, and Dominic. And then we got back on track for 2 sets. And then the last 3 sets, Series 8, 9, and 10, have all been pretty much top picks or current day talent of figures that had just released in the last year year and a half, 2 years, or something like that. So I don't know, man. And, I mean, this is kind of the way of the game, right? We have so many greatest hits waves now. It's never been better to be a WWE figure collector because the figures are, I know you'll say the QC issues and stuff, but they have more articulation they've ever had. They have more details than they've ever had. They're also more expensive than they've ever been, so that's something. But you know, you don't have to. They're putting out a lot of really good figures because of these greatest hits waves. You have the greatest hits Legends line at Target, so that's another, you know, I think that's where it sets up, right? Because both stores pretty much get top picks. Walmart and Target, those are the biggest brick and mortar retail stores for WWE figures. Both stores are going to get top picks. Both stores are pretty much going to get greatest hits. And then each store has its own greatest hits line. Walmart has the greatest hits Monday Night Wars as well as the regular Monday Night Wars. And then Target has the greatest hits Legends, the top picks, the regular greatest hits. And then they have the greatest hits Legends on top of their original Legends line. Not to mention both stores getting their own Ultimate Edition exclusives, their own Elite lines from the main Elite line. So they get a lot of product. And also, both stores get their own box sets. Walmart gets their own 3-packs. Target gets their own 4-packs. They also get 3-packs. So, I don't know, man. Lots of different things going on here, but I for one, would like to see the greatest hits go back into the well. Give me those throwback figures, man. Give me those Harley races. Give me some, especially if the From the Vault's not going to give me damn Flash Rey Mysterio. Give me a Flash Rey Mysterio. That's a From the Vault figure all the way, though. I felt like the greatest hits has to be store exclusives that passed us by. They don't usually do, like they could do Toys R Us, former Toys R Us exclusives. Give me an Andre the Giant Toys R Us exclusive in the greatest hits. Give me a Network Spotlight Shawn Michaels in the greatest hits. Give me NXT Demon Finn Balor updated. Takeover Dallas. There's some figures to be had, man. There's some different figures to be had. I know Target kind of get the Network Spotlight anyway. Give me a damn Network Spotlight figure, man. I know it'll never happen, but Vince would be nice from the Network Spotlight line. Anyways, man, I want to know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Also, go back to our Ringside Fest coverage yesterday, man. Go check out the Ringside Fest coverage. Almost 40 minutes of straight-up WWE action figure news of new figures we're going to be getting. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me, man. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section. I've been busy, man. I've been busy getting my awards set up, my championships, my rankings. Everything coming in December, so I'm excited, man. But I'm getting the hell out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate all of you. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one.